Hello and welcome back to In the Kitchen with Mama. And today my special guest is Jake.
Hello.
Jake, introduce yourself, let them know.
Yeah, so I'm Jake, I'm new to the family, and we all decided that it's time that I start learning recipes, and what better way to learn than In the Kitchen with Mama.
So today we're going to do baked pork chops. Most people like to fry their pork chops. That's what they feel is the best way to eat pork. I like the healthy alternative of baking. So I have this great recipe that my mother used to make for us as I was growing up. So we're going to begin, and Jake's going to mimic everything I do. So I put a little bit of breadcrumbs in a dish like this. You do the same. And Jake, if you would do me the honor of spraying the pan, because that's the important part too, is to spray the pan, because you want to make sure when you're baking these, they don't stick, because then you'll pull the breading off. So one of the first things I do whenever I'm handling fresh meat, put on gloves.
Of course.
Okay, so there's yours.
Thank you.
Now what we have here today is I have some boneless pork chops, and I have some pork chops with the bone in. Now preferably, I like the pork chops with the bone in. That bone just gives you so much more flavor. I'm gonna grab one with bones, you do the same.
All right.
Okay? You just put it on there and just squish it into the breadcrumbs the best you can. And then I flip it over and I do the same thing. And sometimes I do this like 2 or 3 times because I want to make sure that I have it nice and coated with the breadcrumbs. And then you try to find a great way to lay it in the pan so you know they're not squished. Now I'm going to take a filleted or boneless, let me say boneless piece of pork and do the same thing. Now, you know that once you use these breadcrumbs and you do this, just letting everyone know, you have to discard the breadcrumbs when you're done. You can't put them back in the box because they've been around the meat. I'll take a handful of breadcrumbs if there's some left, and I'll just sprinkle them on, just so I don't have to waste it, you know? And Jake, what I wanted to know is, do you do much cooking at home?
Oh, I can make a mean bowl of cereal, and that's the extent of my
Oh,
cooking
really?
skills. Yes.
Is it because you don't like to cook, or you just never had the need?
I like to consider myself a very patient person, but when it comes to the kitchen, that's where I lose my patience.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I've never been much of a cook.
Now, I know you have a grandmother that cooks too. Doesn't your grandmother cook?
She did all the cooking growing up.
Okay, okay. So I just salt them a little bit. Okay, salt and pepper to taste. This is parsley flakes. Now, I will be honest with you, my mother used to use fresh parsley. I use parsley flakes, and it's okay. And by the way, the breadcrumbs, I use either plain or Italian. It doesn't really matter, because if I use Italian, I'm just adding extra spices to it.
Of course.
So your grandmother was a great cook and did all the cooking for you. Now, did you ever go over there and help her cook or anything?
No, because she knew if I did help, the house would be burned down. She seems to think that it's something that runs in my family.
And why would she think that, Jake?
Probably about 2 months old. I was told a story.
2 months old?
When I was 2 months old, my mother decided to turn on the wrong stove. So we had one of those houses where you have 2 stoves, one on the top, one on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
In our household, we kept all of our pans and plastic in the bottom stove and strictly used the top stove. Our house was burned down because she turned on the wrong oven.
Oh my God.
So ever since, we didn't really do much cooking. It was all left to not.
She says, you know what, this just isn't my forte, right?
Yes, but I will say she has learned. My
Good.
mom recently has retaught herself how to cook, and she does amazing.
That's great.
Thank you, Mom. You learned. And now here I am learning too.
I'm glad to hear that, Jake. Now I know all of you think, where's your garlic, Debbie? Guess what? No garlic here. This is probably one of the few recipes I don't use any garlic at all, but I do have my olive oil that I use. So what I do was I drizzle olive oil on these now. Just drizzle it on there. There you go. That's a heavy dish.
Very heavy dish.
It is, isn't it?
But it's coming out very well.
Okay,
wait
great.
to see
Thank
it
you,
cook.
Jake. I appreciate that. So we're going to put these in the oven. Now, depending on how thick they are and whether they're bone in, bone out, Sometimes it takes 45 minutes on 425, sometimes it takes an hour. So we're gonna put them in the oven and we're gonna let them cook for their time because I'm gonna give you another treat. I'm gonna show you how I mash my potatoes, how I cook and mash my potatoes. So we're gonna be doing that while these are taken in the oven. So I'll be right back. We're gonna make mashed potatoes now. And they're probably one of the easiest things to make in the world. The secret is finding the right potato. Make sure your potatoes have no sprouts in them. Have you ever seen the sprouts in potatoes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they.
Disgusting looking.
Yeah, you don't want potatoes. Try to get fresh potatoes. And also, what I find, and I know it's crazy the way I am, never use russet potatoes to make mashed potatoes. Because russet potatoes are basically just for baking or maybe frying you could do it.
Okay, so what kind of potatoes are these?
These are Eastern white potatoes, and that is what I always use for my mashed potatoes and also for my potato salad. You can use red skins, but they're a little watery. They have these Yukon Gold. They're good, but they make the mashed potatoes themselves look a little yellowy. I have a couple in here that I've already peeled and I'm gonna cut. So, but I need one or two more. Have you peeled potatoes before, have you?
I have not.
Okay, guess what?
First time for
First
everything.
time, and we got it on video. Everybody does it different. Some people go like this. It's all comfort level. You have to do it the way you feel good about it. While you're doing that, I'm gonna cut up these large potatoes in the size I think that is good, and then I'll show everybody. Okay, Jake, now we've skinned the potatoes, got them peeled,
Skinned very well.
and now we've cut them in little squares and put them in here. The reason why I cut them in little squares, they'll cook faster. We're gonna put them on the stove. You can add a little salt to the water while they're boiling. Cook them about, I'd say this size, about 20 minutes. And then when they come off, I'll show you how we mash them up. Okay? Be right back.
All right.
Okay, Jake.
All right.
Our potatoes are cooked.
All but one of them.
Okay?
I definitely did not drop in the trash can while I was doing it.
Yeah, it's still in there raw as can be. Make sure that they break up easily, okay? But you don't want them mushy. I put these on for 20 minutes and it was perfect. After they started boiling, 20 minutes, okay? Add a little bit of salt, pepper.
See the salt and pepper? I
Yeah.
like doing
Now,
it
a lot of
at the same
salt
time.
comes out of that one quickly, so
Yeah.
be careful. You do have to be careful with that.
Yeah, I like to, when it comes out hot, to just tap it a little bit on the side.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, I would use, for the amount of potatoes we cook, I'd use about 3/4 of a stick. So here's a knife, put 3/4 of a stick in there. There you go. And I'm gonna break it up a little bit, because now these are piping hot. We drained the water off of them. You saw me do that, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, we drained the water off. Now we put the butter in there. We let it melt just a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll throw in some milk, okay?
All right.
Now, get your beaters ready. I'm gonna put a little bit of milk in there, and then you're gonna start beating. And then sometimes you could tell whether you need more milk. Put it in there first, then turn it on low, and you
Okay.
build it up as you go. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Perfect. And then you can turn it on the next speed. You let your beaters get acclimated to the potatoes and everything. I'm gonna add a little bit more milk in there. You gotta go like that and go different ways. You can't just follow the rim. You gotta make sure you fluff them up while you're beating them, okay?
Of course.
Okay, Jake, we have now taken them out of the oven. Look how they look now. They
Came out
look just
amazing.
like fried pork chops, but guess what? They're baked. So I'm gonna have you try your pork chop and let me know what you think of it. Just
Show
see how
everybody.
easy-
It's amazing on the inside.
Now, it's gonna be hot.
Oh, yeah.
And if he does give us an honest opinion and we don't like it, we just take it out of the...
Well, luckily I think it's amazing.
Great. I'm so
That's
glad
great.
to hear that. So I guess we'll cut it up and I'll get mine and we'll invite the crew and we'll all have some dinner tonight. How's that sound?
Sounds amazing.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. And let me tell you, the whole idea of this show is to get people back to the table. Get your family back to the table. Learn to cook and do what you can. Have conversation around the table. That's the best ever. Remember to like, share, and what's the other one?
Use the right oven.
So, and we'll see you next month in the kitchen with Mom. Thank you.